Hey guys, it's me, Sierra the Solitary Witch. I'm so excited for this video. One of the many things that I love to talk about is manifestation, and I personally am very invested in how I can become a better manifester in my life, how I can refine that skill, how I can better tap into that ability. I wanted to just come on and make this super chatty. Oh my god, I have a cramp in my foot. Today I want to discuss 5 reasons of why your manifestations may not be working out. This is something that I have spoken about at length on my Instagram, and I'm interested in your thoughts. These are a little different than I feel the more traditionally regurgitated information of why manifestations may not be working out for you. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So I have notes here, of course, because I'm a Virgo moon, so don't judge me. Reason number 1 is that you may be using passive instead of active words. First of all, this is something that I feel is important whether you are speaking intention or whether you're writing it down. Using active words instead of passive words is something that can really take your manifestation to the next level and really help you to bring something in quicker, help the universe to have a better understanding of what it is you're trying to bring in. So the example that I like to use for this one is, if any of you out there have ever had like a sales job where you're having to sell, like actively sell something that you hear a lot in this field is to assume the sale. That's a big part of the sales industry. Assume it. Don't ask the person, do you want to buy this? Like, you're assuming the sale as you're going in. You're gonna buy this. This is happening. The same thing kind of goes for the universe. You don't want to ask the universe and say, can I have this, universe? Like, you're telling the universe very clearly and directly, this is what I want. This is it. You want to be actively speaking with conviction. You want to be confident in what you're saying. So notice the difference there. There's like a upspeak where you're like, and then there's a downspeak where you're like this. You're wanting to tell the universe what you want, assume that it's done, and then be done with it. Let it go. The second point of why your manifestation may not be working out for you is that you might be impatient, or there might be an instant gratification complex that you are internally dealing with. So we live in a world where we want things instantly. We want no wait time at all, no wait time. And if we have to wait for things, we tend to get annoyed, we tend to feel frustrated, we are impatient. And so, you have to remember that as you're manifesting, this is a co-creation with the universe. So you're telling the universe what you want, but at the same time, you have to be aware and knowledgeable that we are living in a 3D reality. And so in the ethers, things happen instantaneously, but in our world that we live in, things kind of take time. And also, depending on what you're asking for, it could take a day, it could take a month, it could take a year. So there needs to be a sort of flexibility and a give and take here. We have to kind of shed that impatience when it comes to manifesting. We have to work through that instant gratification complex. Divine timing is real, it is necessary, and it is important. A good analogy that I like to use for this one is, think of a farmer. A farmer goes out to his field and he plants a seed. He doesn't wake up the next morning and go out to his field and expect for that seed to have grown and harvested a crop. Like, he knows that this is a process. It's something that takes time. It's something that is requiring of care and nurturing, and it's a process that involves patience. So it's important to keep in mind here that good things are worth waiting for. Anytime that you're impatient and you're pushing and you're rushing and you want too badly to have things your way, you have too much of an attachment to the timing of something, the only thing that can come out of that 9 times out of 10 is trouble. So just remember, as you're manifesting, that divine timing is probably going to play a role, and it is important. It is for your highest and greatest good. And even if you can't see that at that moment, it tends to make sense later on down the line. So a lot of us, as we're manifesting and we are becoming impatient because maybe we asked for something a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and we're not seeing that progress. We're not seeing things happening. We aren't aware of the behind the scenes or the undercurrent of what is taking place. We tend to sabotage ourselves. And so what happens to our energy is that our energy becomes very tight and tense. It no longer matches with the energy that we set up when we were first manifesting this thing that we were bringing in. And so now it's like you're basically giving yourself more homework. You now have to recenter your energy and get rid of all of that muck, get rid of that anger, get rid of that impatience, get rid of all of that in order to recenter yourself and recalibrate yourself with what it is that you're trying to align with. And you don't want to do that. You know, you don't want to give yourself more work in the process, and you don't want to give the universe more work, because the universe is working with you, right? The universe isn't keeping like a history log of our feelings. It's not saying, okay, well, Sierra asked for this thing on a Tuesday, but here we are on a Thursday and she's impatient. Oh, but she was in a really good mood Tuesday and Wednesday, and you know, like she was really good, like her energy was really good then, but you know, it was just this one day where she was impatient. Like, no, the universe isn't doing that. Okay, like the universe is keeping up with our energy in the present moment and how we're feeling toward our manifestation in the present moment. So you really want to try to avoid impatience, and you want to try to learn to trust and flow, be flexible with the universe, because you don't want to give yourself and the universe more work. Okay, so my third point of why your manifestation may not be working out for you is that your higher self may have something better for you that you are just not aware of. This energy that we speak of, higher self or spirit, it is a more advanced energy. It sees more than us. It knows more than us. So you have to remember the co-creation aspect. You are co-creating with the universe. Think of it as you are commanding the vehicle. You are the commander of the vehicle. You are saying, I want to go here. This is what I want. This is where I want to go. You are essentially steering the ship, like you're commanding it, right? Think of spirit or your higher self as the fuel to that vehicle. You can't get anywhere without this fuel. And so it's a partnership, it's a co-creation. On the same note, using the analogy of the vehicle, picture yourself driving at night, and you are reliant on your headlights in order to see what's ahead of you, but you only see a few feet ahead of you with those headlights. Spirit or your higher self is seeing everything from a bird's point of view. So spirit is seeing you, what's in front of you, what's behind you, what's around you, everything. So it knows what is best. And a good way that I like to describe this is, imagine that you are floating down a river. You have this life, you have this little life raft, and you're floating down a river. You know, you're having a good time, you're relaxed, you're feeling peaceful. And all of a sudden you come across a very big tree that is cutting across the entire length of the river. So it's blocking your path. And suddenly you have to kind of go over to the shore, and you have to get out, and you have to, you know, to drag your lifeboat out, and now you're having to kind of walk around this tree and walk this path with your boat. And you're annoyed and you're frustrated, and you're just like, oh, like what the hell is this tree like doing, blocking the river? Now I have to carry this boat, and you're so frustrated. And all of a sudden you hear this loud noise of rushing water, and just through the trees you can see that the water has become very violent. The water is moving very quickly, and there are these sharp rocks on either side of the river. And you see it and you realize, oh wow, if I had stayed floating down this river, I would have ran into that, and I could have gotten hurt really bad. And then all of a sudden your energy changes, and you're realizing, wow, it's actually really good that that tree was in the way, and that I had to, you know, I was kind of forced to get out of the river and walk. Think of it in terms of that. Things don't make sense to us in the moment, and we get frustrated about it in the moment because we're just like, oh, this is such an inconvenience, and this is stupid, and you know, we only have our limited perception of what's happening, whereas the higher self always has a better way, or always has a better plan. So I hope that makes sense. So my fourth point of why your manifestation may not be working for you is that you might be oversharing. This is a big one. This is something that I talk about so much with people, and it's always crazy to me because I've encountered a lot of people that don't agree. And they feel differently. They feel that, manifestations should be shared. Comment down below if you feel that manifestations should be shared and why you think that they should be shared and what your experience has been with that. Privacy is something that I feel is very sacred, especially in today's world. It's very hard for people to have anything to themselves anymore. Everything is shared so frequently. Social media is this big communication tool, and people are constantly exposing aspects of themselves and aspects of their lives on social media and just in general online. And it's like privacy has become this like sacred art form, and it's so rare to find nowadays. And I personally feel like when you are trying to manifest something, your manifestation in its early form is like a seed. It's like a little baby, and you want to do everything that you can to protect that manifestation as it's developing and as it's maturing. So manifestation magic equals energetic influence. What do I mean by this? I mean that when you're seeking to manifest something or bring something in, this is what magic is all about. Magic is all about influence. There are hundreds of thousands of different influences in our world, and actively using magic is just you trying to add an influence that is stronger than the rest of the influence that is constantly around. This is an important point to keep in mind because you don't want too many energies affecting what you're trying to bring in. I'm really not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but this is real life. People smile in your face and they say that they want your success. They say that they're happy for you, and they say that they want your happiness. But behind closed doors, they don't really want you to be successful. They want you to stay small. They are afraid of you surpassing them. So it's important to be very discerning about who you're sharing your manifestations with. So for this one, I'd like to use the analogy of, again, a seed. Imagine that you're taking this seed and you're planting it in the richest, most nutritious soil ever. You cover the seed up, you give it sunlight, you give it water, you're taking good care of this seed. However, it does not matter how rich the soil is. It doesn't matter how much sunlight it's getting. It doesn't matter how much water you're giving it. If there is a rock blocking the growth path of this seed, it's never gonna sprout. You're never gonna see this seed come to fruition. Think of your manifestations that way, and think of the influence that you're putting around that manifestation in that way. You want to be very careful about who you're sharing your manifestations with, especially when it's early in the process, because you'd be surprised. You would be very, very surprised. You could have flawless energy around your manifestation, but if you've shared that with someone who wishes nothing but harm for you, and they don't want you to be successful, they don't want you to have this thing for whatever reason, it could mess things up. Like I'm not joking. And it's not even to say that like it was purposefully or maliciously done intentionally. Like it could be the smallest things. Say for instance, I am talking to a friend and I say to my friend just in passing, like, wow, like I was online and I saw this job and I'm really excited about it and I want it and I would love to do it and it pays this and the benefits are this and yada yada yada, and I have all of this excitement and all of this passion about this job. Well, my friend is sitting across from me and they're listening to me, and they may not be saying these things out loud, but they're thinking to themselves, oh, like Sierra wants that job? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like would she even be good at that? Like they're just having these negative thoughts, and maybe it's not even specifically because of you. Maybe these thoughts are stemming from their own internal insecurities, but they're projecting them onto you, and they're projecting them onto you and what it is that you're saying that you want for yourself. And so that is now an energetic influence that is clouding your manifestation. Does that make sense? Personally, I just feel like it's better to be safe than sorry. So my last and final point for manifestations and why they may not be working for you, and this is a good one. Point number 5, preparation versus punishment. I'll say that one more time. Preparation versus punishment. It's very rare to manifest something and have it happen instantaneously or within like the span of a week. So a lot of times when we ask for things, there is some shifting on an energetic level inside of us that needs to be done first before we can bring this thing in, right? So the example that I'm going to use here is, let's say that I say to the universe, I want to own a business. I want to be a business owner. I want to be my own boss. I want to run my own thing. I want to be a business owner. And I'm saying this to the universe, and the universe is like, okay. You don't have any business experience though. You don't have any educational background in business. You've never had a business profession. It's okay that you want this, but because of where you're starting from, we have to prepare you. We have to get you trained. You have to go through some things in order to reach this point of owning your own business, right? And so the universe starts sending me experiences that are geared toward being a business owner. And because I don't have any experience in this, I'm falling on my face and I am failing. I'm just like a mess. And the universe is sending me these experiences because it wants to prepare me for what it is that I asked for. But I am perceiving it as the universe is punishing me because I asked for this thing and I guess I shouldn't have. And so I am mistaking what is preparation as punishment. So of course this would be different if let's say that I was a ballet dancer and I had been dancing since a very, very young age of being a young girl. And then I say to the universe, I really want to get into this dance school. Like, it would mean so much to me to be at this prestigious dance school, or I want to be the lead woman in this ballet performance or whatever. The universe can then look at me and say, okay, that's something that is more in alignment. Okay. So, that's something that, requires a little less of a roller coaster ride to get to. But if I'm saying to the universe that I want this and I'm all the way over here, I have to get there. I have to have experiences and growth that are going to allow me to expand so that I can get there. That's what this point is all about. So it's very important to know the difference between preparation and punishment. And it's also important to be careful not to adopt the victim mentality or the victim mindset, because the worst thing that you can do here is take these experiences that you think are negative, but really the universe does not punish people. It doesn't. The worst thing that you can do is take these experiences and start making yourself small. The worst thing you can do is to shut down and to take this and say, okay, well, I asked for this thing and the universe got really pissed off and started ruining my life, so I'm just gonna ask for little things now. I don't want to upset the universe, so I'm just gonna stay small. This is also a really bad thing because, like I said, the universe is trying to give us something, but because we get scared and we mistake it as the universe attacking us, we abandon ship. We abandon that thing that we wanted. We say to ourselves, okay, I don't like this. My life is a hot mess now. I don't want to do this anymore. This is what it's going to be like. I don't want to do this. And so we abandon that desire that we wanted, and we leave the universe just kind of sitting there well, I thought you wanted this. I thought this is what you asked for. With that being said, you guys, this is a quick one, but I hope you guys got something out of this. Like I said, leave your comments down below and let me know what you have experienced with manifesting. What are your top points or tricks for bringing things into your life. I'd love to know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys very soon for the monthlies. Take care.